Have you ever wondered what money really is? Not the coins in your wallet or the numbers in your bank account, but the idea behind it. The trust. The belief. The invisible force that allows you to trade a piece of paper, or now, just a string of code, for food, a car, or even a house. Now imagine waking up one day and finding out that money is changing. That people are no longer trusting the banks, the governments, or even traditional currencies. Instead, they're turning to something digital, decentralized, and almost mysterious: cryptocurrency. Bitcoin, Ethereum, blockchain, these are words we see everywhere now. Some people are making fortunes. Others are losing everything. And in between? Millions are still trying to figure out what it all means. Today, I want to invite you into this story, not just to learn some English, but to explore a powerful shift happening in our world. One that could reshape economies, challenge governments, and redefine how we understand value. You don't need to be a financial expert or a tech wizard to join this conversation. You just need curiosity and a desire to see the world more clearly. Because behind all the headlines and hype lies a deeper question. A question about trust, freedom, risk, and power. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find that this story is not really about money at all. So get comfortable. Open your mind. We're about to explore something that affects us all, whether we realize it or not. Ready? Let's begin with a simple yet powerful question. What if the future of money doesn't look like money at all? Cryptocurrency has been called many things: the future of finance, digital gold, a scam, a revolution, a bubble. But which one is it really? That's where the paradox begins. On one hand, cryptocurrency offers freedom. It's not controlled by any government. It can move across borders instantly. It gives power back to individuals who don't want their money trapped in a fragile banking system. In places like Venezuela or Zimbabwe, where national currencies collapsed, crypto gave people a lifeline, something that held value when their own money didn't. But on the other hand, cryptocurrency can be volatile. Prices rise and fall like a roller coaster. Fortunes can disappear in a single night. And unlike your local bank, there's no customer service number to call when something goes wrong. Your money, once lost, is often gone forever. Here's the dilemma: are we witnessing a revolution that will reshape the global economy for the better? Or are we simply gambling with digital chips in a high-stakes game we barely understand? Even governments don't seem to know what to do. Some countries embrace it. Others ban it. And yet, cryptocurrencies continue to grow, faster than most of us can keep up with. The dilemma gets even deeper when we think about trust. For centuries, we've trusted governments to issue currency. We've trusted banks to store it. We've trusted laws to protect it. But cryptocurrency says, trust the code. Trust the math. Trust no one else. That's radical. That's risky. And yet, it's happening. In fact, young people across the world are starting to trust Bitcoin more than traditional banks. Why? Maybe because they saw financial institutions collapse in 2008. Maybe because they believe in decentralization. Or maybe because they simply don't trust the system anymore. And here's the twist: while some see crypto as a dangerous experiment, others believe it's just the beginning of a much bigger transformation. This isn't just a financial story. It's a cultural one. A generational one. A global one. Think about this. Can something that started as an anonymous idea on an online forum eventually become the foundation of our economic future? Let's not answer that just yet. Let's keep going and look at what's actually happening around us. What do the numbers, the trends, and the headlines really show? Because the surface might be shiny and exciting, but there's more to this story than just fast profits or trendy apps. It's time to look closer. Let's examine the visible patterns that are shaping our world right now. If you open the news or scroll through your phone, you'll see cryptocurrency everywhere. But what does it all really mean? Let's begin with a few facts. In 2021, the global cryptocurrency market hit a total value of over $2 trillion. By early 2024, despite market corrections, it remained one of the fastest-growing financial sectors in the world. Platforms like Coinbase, Binance, and Kraken have millions of users. Bitcoin ATMs are showing up in major cities, from Tokyo to Toronto to Auckland. Even countries like El Salvador have made Bitcoin legal tender. But beyond the headlines and hype, we need to ask, why now? What's pushing this trend? There are three major forces driving the rise of crypto: technology, distrust, and opportunity. First, technology. The creation of blockchain, an open, decentralized, and tamper-proof ledger, is what made cryptocurrencies possible. Blockchain allows every transaction to be recorded transparently, without needing a central authority. Imagine a digital notebook that anyone can read but no one can change. That's what makes it powerful, and potentially revolutionary. This technology doesn't just support money. It supports smart contracts, self-executing agreements, NFTs, digital assets, and decentralized finance or DeFi, an entirely new way to lend, borrow, and invest without banks. In other words, crypto is not just a currency. It's an ecosystem. Second, distrust. After the global financial crisis of 2008, many people lost faith in traditional banking. Bailouts, inflation, and money printing made people question the system. And as inequality grew, so did the desire for something different. Cryptocurrency seemed to offer a way out. No more middlemen. No more governments deciding what your money is worth. Just a digital coin you control. Third, opportunity. Let's be honest, many people didn't come to crypto for philosophy. They came for profit. In just a few years, stories of overnight millionaires spread across social media. A young investor in Canada bought Bitcoin at $200 and watched it climb to over $60,000. A developer in New Zealand launched a coin as a joke, and it skyrocketed. These stories attracted millions of new users. Some became wealthy. Others lost everything. This is where it gets complicated. Because while early adopters benefited, many newcomers entered at the top and faced massive losses. Entire online communities formed around holding on through the dips. Memes like HODL, a misspelling of hold, became part of the culture. Emotions ran high, and the line between investing and gambling began to blur. Governments are still catching up. Some, like Japan and Canada, are cautiously regulating crypto to protect consumers while allowing innovation. Others, like China, have banned it altogether. The United States? Still deciding. Meanwhile, corporations like Tesla and PayPal have experimented with accepting crypto. Some dropped it. Others continue. Even traditional banks, once hostile to Bitcoin, are now offering crypto services to clients. And yet, despite its growth, cryptocurrency still represents only a tiny fraction of the global economy. Most people still use traditional money. Most shops still don't accept Bitcoin. And volatility remains a huge barrier. So why does it still matter? Because it reflects a deeper shift. A change in how we think about value, trust, and freedom. We're not just talking about digital money anymore. We're talking about the possibility of a new financial order, one where the rules are still being written. So let me ask you. If money is becoming code, and control is becoming decentralized, who really benefits? And who might get left behind? Think about it. We'll go even deeper in the next section, into the forces shaping this revolution from behind the scenes. Let's look behind the curtain. Because while cryptocurrency feels decentralized, borderless, anonymous, and free, some forces still hold surprising control over what seems like a people's movement. Take Bitcoin, for example. It was designed to be decentralized. No central bank. No single point of failure. But in reality, a small group of individuals and entities hold a large portion of the total Bitcoin supply. This includes early adopters, wealthy investors, and powerful institutions. This isn't necessarily wrong, but it raises a question. If power is concentrated in the hands of a few, isn't that the very problem crypto was trying to solve? There's also the issue of crypto mining, the process of verifying transactions and creating new coins. In the early days, anyone with a laptop could mine Bitcoin. Now, it takes specialized machines, enormous electricity, and entire warehouses. These mining operations are often located where electricity is cheap, like in parts of Canada, Iceland, or rural US states. And here's the twist. The top mining pools? They're controlled by a handful of powerful organizations. If enough of them work together, they could influence the entire Bitcoin network. That's not just theoretical. It's called a 51% attack, when one group controls the majority of a blockchain's computing power. It hasn't happened to Bitcoin, but it has happened to smaller cryptocurrencies. So again, is this truly a decentralized revolution, or are we seeing the creation of new centers of power, just dressed in digital clothes? Then there's the role of algorithms, especially in newer crypto assets like DeFi tokens or algorithmic stable coins. These are governed not by people, but by preset rules in code. Sounds fair, right? But who writes the code? The people who write these smart contracts, often anonymous or hidden behind usernames, have immense power. They decide how the system works. What rewards are given? What penalties exist? And in some cases, they can even change the rules later through governance votes. It's like a democracy, but where only the rich, or technically skilled, get to vote. You might be surprised to learn how often these systems are quietly influenced or manipulated. In 2022, a so-called stablecoin called Terra USD collapsed. It was supposed to always be worth $1. But within days, it dropped to just a few cents. People lost billions. The code failed. Trust collapsed. And investors, many of them ordinary people, were left in shock. So again, let's pause here. Behind the promise of freedom lies complexity. Behind the idea of trustless technology lie developers and designers who still make decisions, sometimes in secret. And behind the dream of getting rich quickly lies a risky, volatile, often unfair game. In short, we've moved from traditional institutions to new digital structures, many of which are still unregulated, experimental, and hard to understand. Now let's take one more step deeper. Think about how social media, YouTube influencers, and even celebrity endorsements have fueled crypto's rise. A single tweet from a tech billionaire can crash or skyrocket the market. Entire online communities can coordinate to boost or pump certain coins. These aren't financial experts. They're meme makers. They're entertainers. But they hold real power over millions of dollars in value. That's not decentralization. That's manipulation. We're not saying cryptocurrency is evil. But we are saying it's complicated. And when money, power, and hype mix, someone always ends up getting hurt. So here's a question I'd like to ask you. Is the crypto movement truly about freedom and fairness, or are we just watching old power structures take new digital shapes? We'll come back to that. Next, we'll shift our lens toward us, the people. How do ordinary users react to all this? Why are so many still diving in? And what does it say about how we see money, security, and risk? Let's talk about people, not just the systems. Because while blockchain and algorithms are fascinating, the real story of cryptocurrency is also psychological. It's about human behavior, emotion, and belief. Why do people buy into cryptocurrency, even when it's risky, unstable, or poorly understood? One word: hope. For many, crypto isn't just a new kind of money. It's a chance to escape. To escape inflation. To escape poverty. To escape a system that feels rigged. Especially for younger generations who came of age during economic recessions, student debt, and widening inequality, crypto feels like an open door to a better future. In a survey from Canada in 2023, over 40% of crypto investors were under 35. Many said they didn't trust traditional banks or believed they would never own property through regular savings. Crypto, for them, was not just an investment, it was a form of resistance. But there's also another emotion at play: fear of missing out, or FOMO. This is where things get dangerous. Every time Bitcoin surges, headlines shout, social media lights up, and influencers post screenshots of unbelievable gains. YouTubers, TikTokers, and Twitter personalities make promises, sometimes honest, often exaggerated. This constant stream of hype creates social pressure. Everyone else is making money, why not me? And even those who don't fully understand crypto start buying in. Not because they believe in the technology, but because they're afraid to be left behind. And when prices fall, panic, confusion, regret. It's not just about numbers on a screen. It's about emotion. In crypto forums and communities, users speak about heartbreak, sleepless nights, and mental health struggles. Some have taken out loans to invest. Others have lost life savings. At the same time, a kind of tribal loyalty has formed. People identify as Bitcoiners or ETH maxis, Ethereum maximalists. They wear t-shirts, attend meetups, and defend their favorite coins like sports teams. It's not just investing, it's identity. Why does this happen? Because crypto offers something that money usually doesn't: meaning. It makes people feel like they're part of something bigger, a movement, a rebellion, a future. Psychologists call this collective belonging. We want to believe in something. And crypto, with its bold language of freedom, independence, and revolution, fills that gap. But here's the paradox: the same system that promises freedom can easily create dependency. People check prices obsessively. They follow crypto gurus without question. They hold on to coins through massive losses, hoping it will go back up, not because the data says so, but because they're emotionally invested. Let's consider culture for a moment. In Japan, where traditional saving is highly valued, crypto adoption has been slower, but is rising among younger professionals who are tech-savvy and globally connected. In contrast, places like New Zealand have seen crypto interest grow alongside the rise of fintech and digital-first banking. In both places, we see a generational divide. Older citizens trust banks, younger ones trust apps. Why? Because trust today is no longer built on institutions, it's built on networks. And cryptocurrency lives inside these networks, online, fast-moving, and emotional. It's also about control. In a world where people feel increasingly powerless, politically, economically, environmentally, crypto feels like a way to take some of that power back. But here's the question. Are we really taking back control, or are we just handing it to different kinds of invisible forces? Let that sit with you. We'll turn now towards self-awareness and reflection. In a world full of noise, what does it mean to be awake, thoughtful, and intentional when making choices, especially financial ones? So where does that leave us? If cryptocurrency isn't purely good or bad, if it carries both the seeds of liberation and the risks of manipulation, what should we do with that knowledge? This is where self-awareness matters. You don't need to become a blockchain expert or a finance guru to make good decisions. But you do need to ask yourself better questions. What are you really chasing when you think about money, security, power, freedom, recognition? Understanding your motivation is the first step toward clarity. Because when we don't understand what drives us, we become vulnerable to hype, to fear, to persuasion. You may not control the markets, but you do control your attention. You can choose to learn before you act. You can choose to pause when everyone else is rushing. You can choose to think critically, even when the voices around you are loud. And that might be the most powerful lesson of all. Because cryptocurrency, at its core, is not just a story about finance. It's a mirror, reflecting how we deal with uncertainty, with change, and with opportunity. It shows how easily we're influenced by headlines, and how quickly we forget history. It reveals how much we crave control in a world that often feels uncontrollable. And it reminds us that no matter how fast technology moves, human nature still shapes the outcome. So what's the way forward? Start with awareness. If you're interested in crypto, don't just follow social media influencers. Study the technology. Read balanced reports. Understand the risks. Learn how blockchain works. Ask, who benefits from this system? And what happens if it fails? If you're already invested, set clear boundaries. How much can you afford to lose? What is your long-term plan? Are your choices based on research or on emotion? And if you feel overwhelmed, that's okay. This space moves fast, and it can be confusing. But don't let that stop you from learning. In fact, the more confusing something is, the more reason to look closely. Now, you may be wondering, is it worth it? That's a personal question. But here's something to reflect on. Is the real value of cryptocurrency in the coins themselves, or in how it pushes us to rethink the systems we've always taken for granted? Maybe it's not about the price of Bitcoin tomorrow. Maybe it's about the kind of questions we're finally starting to ask. And perhaps, those questions, about trust, about power, about independence, are what truly matter. So the next time you hear the word crypto, pause. Don't react. Reflect. Because your most important investment might just be your attention. Let's take a moment now to reflect not just on the ideas, but also on the English language we use to explore them. Below are some key vocabulary terms, collocations, and sentence structures from today's story that are worth remembering and practicing. 1. Volatile. Meaning, likely to change suddenly and unpredictably. Example, cryptocurrency can be volatile, prices rise and fall like a roller coaster. Practice, think of other things in life that are volatile, e.g., emotions, markets, relationships. 2. Decentralized/decentralization. Meaning, not controlled by a single authority. Example, blockchain allows for a decentralized financial system. Practice, use it to talk about education, media, or power structures. 3. Trust the code/trustless system. Meaning, relying on technology or algorithms instead of human authority. Example, crypto says, trust the code. Trust the math. Note, trustless here means you don't need to trust a third party, just the system. 4. Financial literacy. Meaning, understanding how money works. Example, learning about crypto also means improving your financial literacy. Try writing, one way I can improve my financial literacy is. 5. The line between X and Y begins to blur. Structure, used to show a gradual loss of distinction. Example, the line between investing and gambling began to blur. Try writing your own version, the line between is starting to blur. 6. FOMO, fear of missing out. Meaning, the anxiety that others are doing something better or more exciting. Example, FOMO drives people to invest without understanding. Ask yourself, have I ever made a decision based on FOMO? 7. Behind the scenes. Meaning, not visible or known to the public. Example, let's look behind the scenes of the crypto movement. Asterisk, try using it in a sentence about politics, media, or your workplace. 8. Take something with a grain of salt. Meaning, don't accept something completely, be skeptical. Example, crypto advice on social media should be taken with a grain of salt. Use it, when someone promises easy success, I take it with a grain of salt. 9. To rethink the system/to challenge the status quo. Meaning, to question existing structures or beliefs. Example, crypto forces us to rethink the financial system. Practice, write a short journal entry about something in society you think we should rethink. 10. Emotional investment. Meaning, being deeply attached to an idea, not just financially but personally. Example, many crypto holders are emotionally invested in the idea of freedom. Practice, what's something you're emotionally invested in? Feel free to pause here and pick 3 to 5 of these expressions to write about in your journal, use in conversation, or reflect on in the comments. These aren't just words, they're keys to expressing deeper ideas about the world. So, what do you think? After everything we've explored, freedom, risk, hidden influence, hope, fear, where do you stand on cryptocurrency? Is it a revolution, or just a different kind of gamble? More importantly, what does your answer say about how you see the world? Because maybe, in the end, crypto isn't really about digital coins at all. Maybe it's about something much more human, our deep desire for control, fairness, opportunity, and meaning in a system that often feels too big, too distant, or too broken. Whether you believe in crypto's promise or stay skeptical of its hype, one thing is clear: the conversation is far from over. Technology is moving fast. Regulations are catching up. And somewhere, right now, another young person is writing code that could reshape the next chapter of our financial future. And that brings us back to you. You've just followed a complex, real-world story in English. You didn't just learn new vocabulary, you trained your mind to ask better questions. That's powerful. That's what makes you not just a language learner, but a global thinker. Before we say goodbye, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you believe cryptocurrencies will replace traditional money, or will they remain a risky alternative for only a few? Your answer could open up a discussion someone else has never considered. Please share it in the comments. Let's keep learning from each other. And if today's lesson made you see the world, even slightly, through a sharper lens, then you're exactly where you need to be. Next time, we'll explore another deep, timely topic that challenges how we think, and helps you grow in English and in awareness. Until then, take care. Stay curious. And remember, learning English isn't just about mastering a language. It's about staying awake to ideas, to choices, and to the world around you. See you soon.